What's up, Sirskis? I'm gonna let you in on something that I've been thinking on for a little bit of time. Um, I'm only saying this now because everything just clicked like 5 minutes ago, and I had a eureka moment. So it's called the Jeffrey Epstein method. All right, or an alternative name is fake it till you make it. You might be more familiar with the second name, but the first name is a lot better, obviously. And yeah, so what is the Jeffrey Epstein method? Okay, pretty much what it is you follow in Jeffrey Epstein's footsteps, or alternatively Jay-Z's footsteps, or alternatively Mike Dean's footsteps, because they all did the same thing. These are like the best examples I can think of. I'm gonna start off with giving an example directly of what Jeffrey Epstein did, and then it's gonna make a little bit more sense as I keep talking about it. Pretty much, right? We all know who Jeffrey Epstein is. He's like well, ignoring all the island stuff, he was a financier for like billionaires, like Lex Wexner, for example. Um, how did he get in contact with these billionaires? Why did he have so many billionaires just like on his payroll, pretty much, or not like they were paying him? Like, how did he know so many billionaires? He faked it until he made it. All right. When he started off, um, I'm pretty sure he like wasn't even that good at his job. Okay. And he didn't, it's not like he started off with like millionaires and then he built his way up into being in contact with billionaires or something. No, he went from nothing to being in contact with billionaires. And all he did was he promoted himself to the billionaires only. He charged a super high fee and he just pretended like he was really good at his job. When the billionaires saw this, they were like, I just need somebody to, take care of my assets, do my taxes, whatever. Oh, this guy looks like he's super good. He already knows billionaires, I don't care if I'm overpaying. I just need somebody to do this. And then once he got one billionaire, the other ones came super easily because another billionaire sees that. He's like, oh, wow, that guy already knows billionaires. He's already controlling, that dude's assets, paying that dude's taxes. So I might as well go with him. He seems pretty good. And then from there, he built a whole empire off of nothing. So then he pretended like he was already good and he already knew people and whatever. And then when he actually started knowing people, it kept the lie turned into reality, and it kept getting easier and easier because, well, it was reality now. He didn't need to pretend anymore. So that's an example of the Jeffrey Epstein method. Like, that's literally the Jeffrey Epstein method. You pretend like you're already good until you are, right? You pretend you already have it until you do. That's how it works. It's easy like that. The other example is with Jay-Z, right? Everybody knows Jay-Z, maybe. But when he started off, he was just like anybody else. He was just a regular rapper, whatever. He didn't have contact with, and like he put himself on the map pretty much. Nobody, he did it all himself pretty much. Nobody gave him like a helping hand or whatever. Well, not like directly in the same way. And pretty much all he did is he pretended like he already had this big empire of like he pretended like he was already really good and like he had all of this stuff like backed up behind him and he was like super, how do I even explain this? Like he just pretended like he was really good, pretty much. He made his own record label called like Rock Nation. I think it's something like that. And then, yeah, he went around promoting himself and talking to people as if like, oh yeah, like I'm with Rock Nation. Like he had this big fake confidence and he believed in himself incredibly. And he just made it seem like he was this big guy to not mess with, or like he made it seem like he had already made it before he even had anything. And then from there, he got into contact with, people that might have been a little bit like kind of semi-famous, and then he just kept building off of that until he actually knew people that were famous, and then his fake empire turned into a real empire. So he just faked it until he made it. That's the Jeffrey Epstein method. Same exact thing right there. And yeah, my last example is with Mike Dean. Kind of the same thing as Jay-Z. He started off with like no connections, no nothing. I don't know if you know who Mike Dean is, but he's kind of like the studio guy. Like he does everything in the studio. If you want to make a hit song, you talk to Mike Dean. Like he'll help you with literally every step of the way. But anyway, he the way that he got into contact with all of these people and the way he turned into like the most famous, I don't even know what you would call him, like music helper, studio guy, whatever. The way he got that title is, um, I don't remember if he like snuck into a party or something, or he got the contact of a certain artist somehow. And he kept annoying them over and over and over to ask them to work with him or something. Or it was something like that. And then once they finally said yes, he branched that out to somebody else. Like somebody else who knew that first guy that might have been a little bit more famous. And then, well, now he knew that guy. And then that guy might have known more people that were a bit more famous until, you know, word got around like, oh, Mike D knows that guy. Well, I'll go work with him. And then it keeps spreading and spreading until all of a sudden he's this fucking, like, he's the most goodest, bestest, famousest, like producer, studio dude, man, guy. He faked it until he made it. That's the that's the method. All right. You can apply this to pretty much anything you want to do in your life. If you want to start a business, or I don't know, even if you just want more friends, for example, you pretend as if you're already like super famous. Like you can apply this to anything. You pretend you already have a bunch of confidence until, you know, people notice it, then you start actually having confidence. And then that can also tie into other stuff like the law of attraction or whatever, where like it's in your head like, oh, I have a bunch of money, I am wealthy, I am healthy, whatever. And then it starts coming to you naturally because it's already in your brain. That's a little bit different, but it's like parallel, you know? But anyway, that's the Jeffrey Epstein method. I hope you learned something incredibly valuable from this video. Take note of that. And when you become rich and famous, hit me up. Alright, don't forget who put you on. Thank you. And Brofist.